Hello everyone! Today we're making pizza. The pizza turns out very delicious. Today we will not only be making the dough. Today we will be making the sauce. We will be cooking it. I'll show you an awesome sauce that's just perfect for pizza. I'll tell you where else you can use this type of sauce. And actually, sauces like those for pizza are easy to make. Understand the proportions. Making pizza dough is very simple. Probably one of the simplest yeast doughs is pizza dough. I'll show you how I make it at home today. This is my universal pizza recipe. I always make this exact dough. The only difference in all pizzas is the topping. And today we will make the sauce ourselves. We will make the sauce because the secret of the pizza is in the sauce. So we immediately add dry yeast to the flour. I use dry yeast, add sugar, add salt, and mix everything well like this. If you have a mixer, a large dough mixer, it will be great because then you won't have to do anything by hand. The machine will do everything for us. But for those like me, without a dough mixer today, we will do it by hand. So, mix it well like this. And now add the water. And knead the dough. I love yeast dough in any form, in any manifestation. Everything I love to cook is mainly related to yeast dough. And mix it so that you get a uniform lump of dough. It's hard to knead with a spoon now, so I do it by hand. Look, I'm gathering all the dough, into a ball. Incorporating all the flour. That's it, the dough is already holding its shape. See, it's not falling anymore. Now put the dough on the table. And take vegetable oil, pour the vegetable oil over the dough, pour the oil onto the table. This way your hands should be in the oil. And now, knead it well together with the oil to get a uniform, smooth piece of dough. Knead for about 5 minutes, usually around 5 to 7 minutes. If you are using a dough mixer, it will knead for a few, probably 2 to 3 minutes. The dough should come away from the sides of the bowl. Well, ours should be uniform, smooth, and not stick to the hands. Now take the piece of dough we have. Place it in a container. Seal it with plastic wrap. You can cover it with a towel. And let it rise well for 30 to 40 minutes. Forget about it. Meanwhile, we'll prepare the filling. To make a very tasty dressing, this tomato sauce, you need to make it yourself. Naturally, don't buy it. So, what will I use? I need chopped onion, chopped sweet pepper, and garlic, like this. Put all of this into vegetable oil and start cooking. When it starts sizzling like this, and we hear it sizzle, add salt. I have extra, so I add a little, but you should salt the taste. Well, if you have rock salt or whatever salt you have, salt it so that it's good and tasty. Like this. And we add sugar here. Strangely enough, sugar. Sugar, because we will be adding tomatoes here, sugar with tomatoes is very tasty. It enhances the flavor of the tomatoes, and to make the sugar even tastier, we'll add it when we fry the onions. When there's a bit more oil and it starts to caramelize a little, it will be delicious. Like this. And pepper. Just any pepper. I have black pepper. You can use a peppermint. Like this. So now we saute all this over medium heat until the onions start to turn a little golden. Don't focus on the pepper right now. Focus on the onions. When the onions start to turn a little golden, only then will we add the tomatoes. When the onions are halfway done, when they have started to turn golden nicely, we add the chopped tomatoes here. You can cut the tomatoes however you like. I have simply chopped tomatoes like this. Now we add a little bit more of dried paprika to the tomatoes. What am I doing? I usually take approximately 5 or 6% vinegar and add about 2 teaspoons of vinegar. I am reducing the heat. You can cover it with a lid and simmer until the tomatoes are ready, approximately 20 to 25 minutes. The main thing is to keep the heat below medium, and we simmer. About 15 minutes after starting to cook, you can see that we already have this kind of sauce. So I don't step away, I stir it occasionally, cooking under a closed lid. Now I will reduce the temperature a little more. Now what needs to be done? You need to taste it. Well, for salt, for sugar, I take the liquid with a teaspoon and taste it. For me, it's perfect, both for salt and sugar, just like, It's also so delicious. You know, you should never be lazy to cook such things at home. They are tastier than store-bought ones. Now, I add oregano. You can add Italian herbs or Provençal herbs, but I will add like this. Well, more than half a teaspoon, even about a teaspoon of oregano, just dried. If you have any other fresh herbs, you can try experimenting with spices. Well, today I have oregano. Tomorrow, maybe when I cook, I will use Italian or Provençal herbs. And this way, the sauce will always have a slightly different taste. So in total, everything should cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. Well, it's already been simmering for 15 minutes, even a bit more. I'll keep it for another 7 minutes and then turn it off. I've already got something that's almost like a paste. Yes, everything is already so uniform and nice. Turn it off and let it cool a bit so we don't transfer it to the blender right away. And also, but this is for those who want it. In this form, you can skip blending it. Just put it in a jar once it has completely cooled and store it in the refrigerator. Since there's vinegar in it, it keeps quite well in the fridge. You can use it as a dressing for pasta or wherever you like with potatoes. It's very tasty. This way you can really feel all the ingredients in pieces. Also, in the same form, just with a slightly different proportion of ingredients, vinegar and sugar. All of this is preserved and simply stored on a shelf. When you need it, you open it. If you need to make ketchup, blend it and you have ketchup. If you don't need to make it, do something else. It can be added to all meat dressings. Overall, it's a very, very tasty thing. So, take this recipe into consideration. Since we used a blender bowl, everything turned out chopped. If you want to make it like a puree to taste, then use an immersion blender. But it's much tastier when all the ingredients are noticeable. And it's not like, well, a homogeneous puree, but rather with pieces still present. In general, for me, this is the tastiest. I have everything prepared here, just need to marinate the onion. Even the dough, you see, has risen so nicely. It's just, you see, so airy. So in a container with water, I add a little 9% vinegar, specifically using a red onion. Well, if you can't find a red one, then use any kind. Slice into half rings. Since I am using red onion, it is naturally a bit sweet. If you are using regular onions, add a teaspoon of sugar to it all. So let it all marinate for a short while. So my dough is ready. I will not be using flour, but vegetable oil so that the flour doesn't burn. Pour a little bit of vegetable oil on the table. See, just a little. Place the dough onto the oil. I prepare the dough like this. Coat it in oil from all sides so it doesn't dry out while I'm making one pizza. Divide the piece in half. This amount makes 2 large pizzas. Stretch it out. I won't be using a rolling pin. Gently stretch it out with your hands like this to make a round pizza. While I'm carefully doing all this, the dough has already risen, and I preheat the oven to the highest possible temperature. I have a setting, labeled maximum. Yes, that's what I set it to. Gently and slowly stretch the pizza. Carefully and precisely leaving a small edge like this. The pizza ends up being 30 centimeters in diameter. There are 2. It turns out there are 2. So what do I do? Stretch it a little more than you need because we will be transferring it to parchment paper. And it will shrink anyway. So it will be just right. Look, we transfer the dough onto the parchment paper. It's very convenient because I made it with oil and it won't burn directly on the baking sheet later. Here we shape it once more. Just gently. Slightly lift the edge like this. We stretched it out on a large baking sheet. The sauce that we made together. So look, the amount of sauce. I used 2, at most 3 tablespoons. Well, I like it to be, just right. No need to pour too much of it. Like this. If you have leftover sauce, which I will, I'll just put it in the fridge and use it. Nastya loves it with pasta. Even if I'm not cooking meat, I'll just boil some pasta and add this sauce. Nastya will happily munch on it. And you know what I'll tell you? Even without cheese like this, it will be a fantastic pizza. Sausage, cheese, sausage, cheese. I'll alternate like this. That's why I'm laying it out in this particular manner, as you can see. I have pickled cucumbers. I spread them everywhere as well. Instead of cucumbers or mixed with them, you can add any olives. I will mix 2 types of cheese, Hochin, grated mozzarella, and any cheese I found in the fridge, also grated. Well, basically, we mix all this together. You can take 2 or 3 types of cheese, mix them, and it will be very tasty. Look, like this. Look, such a beautiful pizza is turning out. If you don't have a special pizza pan, I showed how to make it. If you want, you can do it on a baking sheet, stretching it out to the 4 corners like this. But mine is round. Let's bake. Since the oven was at maximum, I will now switch it to 200 and bake until golden brown. So, voila. This is the beautiful pizza I ended up with. While it is still, as I say, breathing, we place it here. On top, we spread the pickled onions. The secret of the pizza is that the onions should never be baked together with the whole pizza. They need to be pickled and then laid out like this. Sprinkle with greens on top. And the pizza can be served. Pizza, pizza, cheesy pizza. Listen. A deliciously thin crust with lots and lots of cheese. I love cheesy pizza. This pickled onion adds such freshness, piquancy. Try it. There are also several different pizza options on my channel. I really like it with bacon. Try it with bacon, it turns out amazing. There's a recipe, check it out. Try this version. You immediately get 2 pizzas and you have a party. And indeed, the sauce makes the pizza. The dough is more or less the same for everyone, but the sauce? This is not ketchup, although it's tasty with ketchup too. But this sauce that we made today, this is exactly the kind of sauce where you order a pizza and think, oh my God, how did they make it? Everything seems ordinary. But why does it taste so incredible? It's because they make the sauce themselves. So make this sauce and prepare a pizza with it. They'll just say, what did you do this time to make the pizza so wonderful? And definitely take note of this sauce. My Nastya is thrilled with it on pasta. And not just Nastya. Be sure to try the pizza, give it a like, and share this video. And I'm looking forward to your comments. Be sure to try it. I'm waiting for comments, not only on the pizza, but also on the sauce, once you make and try it. That's all. Kisses, love you, take care, bye, enjoy.